Michael Knowles triggers two just completely rabid and insane leftists during a debate at Politicon. Guys, this is going to be a lot of fun, all right? I think you're going to like it. One of the guys in this debate here is the moderator of all people, and his name is Clay Aiken.
And Clay Aiken took us to musical theater. Time's come for all to be near, hear the call.
Yeah, interesting to see that guy in politics now, huh? Unfortunately for him, he is now a washed-up has-been, as you will see in this clip. It is very apparent. He went from being a singer to a far-left activist. Don't ask me how that works. I don't know. It's a little bit interesting, but it is what it is, guys. What can you do? So, guys, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to get right into the video. But first, everybody, please help me out, and you can do me a huge favor. What is that favor, guys? You already know, I think. Like our video, share it around, and if you're new, subscribe to the Resist the Mainstream YouTube channel. That way, we can keep bringing you guys this great content. As always, everyone, I'm your host, Darian. Let's get into the video.
When the president tweets, it scares people. It moves markets. His words matter more than mine, more than yours, more than anybody else's on the planet, and he does not choose them carefully. And that is leading to problems in this country. It has led to problems in the markets as well from time to time from what he said. And he needs to be more careful with that. I think you would agree with that. I think you need to agree with that.
He tells
Last time I told you to agree with something, you should have just agreed with me.
Well, I'm not so sure about that. He told me that he uses the very best words, and I think he probably does. And I think, frankly, when the left tells you to say something, you can show them the underside of your chin. You know, I think so much of the trouble in this country is the left tells us you have to say this, you have to believe that, you have to say Trump is a racist and an anti-Semite. Trump has a town named after him in Israel. If he's an anti-Semite, he's the worst anti-Semite in the history of the world. He's very ineffective at it. If Trump,
I'm not.
No kidding. Not to mention Trump literally moved the U.S. embassy to Jerusalem. You know how many U.S. presidents promised that they were going to do that and just never delivered on it? Regardless of your opinion on that, whether you think it was the right thing or the wrong thing to do, it doesn't matter. The point is, if you want to talk about a U.S. president who is anti-Semitic, Trump is probably the last one to pick, given how much he's helped out with those pro-Israel interests. It just doesn't make any sense, and it's totally incoherent to argue otherwise.
I'm not calling him a racist and anti-Semite. I'm saying his words matter, and he needs to choose them better. He makes statements that move markets, offend people, get people to act in a certain way, and he needs
Chris,
to be better at it.
But Chris, look, we could all use better words. What I'm saying is, if at Charlottesville, if he explicitly condemned racists and white supremacists, we would agree that's a good thing. The president should do that.
His first reaction should have been that. His first reaction was good people on both sides.
In the very same paragraph,
good people on both sides is not condemning racism. There were no good people marching saying Jews will not replace us. Not one good person. Not one of those people was a good person. Not one of them. Not one.
Now, if
you know who else is a complete race hustler, much like that bald guy, Chris Hahn, who we're just seeing talk there? Joe Biden. He has repeated the same lie over and over again, and shamelessly. He also has shamelessly wrecked the American economy. Guys, it is so bad. I don't know about you, but I am sick of this inflation, okay? It's outrageous. Every time I go out to dinner, God forbid I go on a date or something, it costs me, I don't know, 60 bucks on the bill for maybe some fries and a drink. It's insane. And that's why, guys, I have decided to partner with Goldco. Why do this? It's real simple. As the value of the US dollar has historically declined, the value of gold has gone up. Sounds like it might be a good hedge against inflation. Anyways, guys, you can check it out right now. Go to rtmgold.com. You can click the link in your description or type in your web browser, and you can get a free gold kit. Yes, you heard that right. Free. You can help make this big decision, guys. Check it out. We really recommend it. rtmgold.com.
If you read down two paragraphs, as he is saying that,
he still said there were good people on both sides.
What he's saying is,
and you know it, and I know it. That's what he said.
Well, I mean,
good people on both sides.
Let me ask it this way. Let me ask it this way.
Sure.
Okay, so before washed-up has-been American Idol star Clay Aiken comes in and butts in and stops being a moderator and essentially just gangs up on Michael Knowles in the debate, quick little thing to address here. Chris Hahn is employing this common leftist tactic of just yell loudly, more angrily, and belligerently, and repeat yourself and look more and more offended and outraged with no apparent reason given. Yeah, that's a stupid strategy, and it doesn't really convince anybody you're right. Well, maybe to the brainwashed college kids and the like it will, but not to any person who has a brain. It's really quite overplayed.
Are people who are marching and shouting "Jews will not replace us"? Are they good people?
I don't
yes
know,
or no?
I mean,
just a yes or no
Clay,
question. Yes or no? No, it's a yes or no
Clay,
question.
What a ridiculous question.
Are
Give me
people?
a break.
You can boo me off.
You know, the reason
No, because are you able to answer the question?
One conservative
yes
because
or
they know
no?
that it's a fair fight.
Yes or no? Are people who are marching shouting "Jews will not replace"?
Yeah, Nazis are bad, Clay. We agree.
Did you beat your wife on Tuesday or did you do it on Thursday? It's a one or the other question, all right? You can't give any other answer. That's what essentially is being asked right now, and it's totally fake. And by the way, let's keep in mind, this guy's supposed to be a moderator, okay? That's how biased and ridiculous this whole setup is. But it's okay, because Knowles is obviously trouncing them regardless.
Nazis are bad, okay?
Can you say yes or no to this? Are you capable of that?
I can. Hey, Clay.
Can you say yes or no to it?
Let me ask you a question, Clay.
I don't need to answer a question because I'm not on the stage.
Clay,
Can you answer the question? Yes or no?
You just asked me if Nazis are bad, and I told you
Nazis are bad. No, I did not ask you if Nazis were bad.
Of course you did.
I asked you to say yes or no.
Yes or no.
And I understand those are big words.
Really bad. Yeah, I think they're really bad, Clay.
Are people marching saying Jews will not replace us good people? Yes or no?
They're bad people, Clay. People who are Nazis are bad people, Clay.
That's not what I asked you.
I've answered.
He says, are they bad people? Yes or no? Knowles says, yeah, they're bad people. And he says, well, that's not what I asked you. You're a Nazi now. It's so blatantly ridiculous. It makes you question how people even fall for it. I don't get it.
Answered this 5 times.
No, you haven't. You've chosen to answer it the way you want to answer it.
We'll go back in the tape later.
You're rewording.
You're rewording.
You're rewording.
This is exactly, Clay, what you're doing right now is exactly what the mainstream media did to Trump at Charlottesville. It's the exact same thing. I gave a perfectly clear answer, and then you tried to pretend that I didn't.
I feel so bad for you. I feel so badly for you. It's very easy to play a victim. Let me ask you this.
Why do you feel
Let me ask you this. Hey, guys. You can boo all you want to. I don't give a Okay, listen.
I think our rhetoric is too extreme.
Let me ask you this.
Let's see a little bit more of Clay Aiken getting smacked down by Knowles. This time on climate change. That's a fun one.
I just want to point out, you mentioned that 99% of scientists agree that man-made global warming is a very, very serious problem. The number that is usually cited, speaking of hyperbole, is 97%. And this was the line in the Al Gore movie. This is the line that people cite. That number is completely bogus. It is made up. Lock it away with the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus. It is not true. That number is based on 4 studies. NASA cites 4 studies to back it up. One is by the historian Naomi Oreskes that has serious methodological problems because it only cites abstracts of papers. When you actually look into what she cites, she gets to 75% consensus. There was then a rebuttal of that. There was a refutation of it that showed that not only is it not 75%, 2008 they showed it was actually 7% of those scientists explicitly endorsed the IPCC. The second one came out, it found 97% from the scientist John Cook. This was immediately debunked in the Science and Education. Actually only found that 1% of scientists surveyed explicitly supported the IPCC conclusion of catastrophic climate change. The third study was a 2-minute survey that was sent out to 10,000 people. 3,000 responded. They took out the scientists who would have been in fields that possibly could have attributed warming to the sun. And
since you're trying to, instead of going through all this specifically, since you're looking, none of us have a library with us to go and look and check these studies. So let me ask you, instead of rebutting that,
I knew I should have asked Ruben Studdard to moderate this debate.
Don't worry. I'm sure he rehearsed that line in the bathroom this morning. So since you're rebutting things that he was mentioning, why don't we have you rebut the questions that he asked, which were specifically, why not do something about it? Because
I don't want to destroy 5.8 million jobs and get rid of 90% of American
energy. Here's the question.
Mic drop. Knowles got Clay Aiken good there, and I don't know about you guys, but I don't think he's going to recover. So that's that for him. With all that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. As always, comment below in the video. Let us know what you liked, what kind of content you want to see in the future, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks. God bless.